Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. It is the first lecture of Unit 9, that is Chemical Equilibrium. In chemistry, we write the chemical reactions in the form of equation, and in this equation, reactants are always written down on the left hand side and product is written on the right hand side. In case of the reversible reaction, a reaction in which product can react together to reform the original reactant is called the reversible reaction. It means these are the type of the reaction in which the reactants combine together to form the product, and again the product decompose and reform the reactants. These are the two-sided reactions. A forward reaction proceed in which a product is formed, and a reverse reaction proceed under the same conditions in which the product transform into the reactant again. And these reactions never go to completion because forward and reverse reaction take place side by side, and these type of reactions are shown by the double arrow. Here few examples of reversible reactions are given, in which you can see that first example, sulfur dioxide react with the oxygen producing the sulfur trioxide. In this case, sulfur dioxide and oxygen both are the reactant and sulfur trioxide is the product. This double arrow shows that reactants combining to form the product, and sulfur trioxide, our product, again retransform into its reactants. Second example is of the combination of nitrogen and hydrogen to form the ammonia gas. In this again it is the reversible reaction. Our reactants nitrogen and hydrogen combining together producing the ammonia, and this ammonia again decompose into its reactants. Third example is the formation of nitrogen dioxide, in which nitrogen and oxygen react together to produce this nitrogen dioxide, and again this nitrogen dioxide after the formation decompose into its reactants. These are the examples of reversible reactions in which reactant combine to produce the product, and product again decompose into its reactants. Here the reversible reaction for the formation of sulfur trioxide is shown in the form of the graph. In this graph you can clearly see that time is against the x-axis and concentration of the reactant and product are given on the y-axis. At the zero time mean when you have just mixed the reactant sulfur dioxide and oxygen. So these reactants at the zero time, they have maximum concentration. You can see the concentration of this sulfur dioxide in the green line and concentration of oxygen in the red line. The concentration of this reactant is maximum at the zero time, and the concentration of this sulfur trioxide formation is zero at this zero time. But after some times, with the passage of the time, what happened? The concentration of sulfur dioxide and oxygen is decreasing. You can see this graph, the line is from up to the downward side. This shows that the concentration of this sulfur dioxide and oxygen is decreasing, while the concentration of sulfur trioxide with the passage of time, it is increasing. The concentration of sulfur trioxide is shown in this yellow line. So formation of sulfur trioxide is a forward reaction, and Decomposition of this sulfur trioxide into the sulfur dioxide and oxygen is a reverse reaction. So in the start, forward reaction is very fast and the reverse reaction is almost zero. And as the time passes, the forward reaction slows down and the reverse reaction increases. Or you can see that a time will reach now when the concentration of sulfur trioxide, sulfur dioxide and oxygen will be the same. You can see the horizontal line that start of this time is shown by this black arrow. This shows that at this time the rate of the forward reaction and the rate of the reverse reaction becomes equal. It means the formation of sulfur trioxide and the decomposition of sulfur trioxide into the sulfur dioxide and oxygen, it becomes equal. So when this time reach, when rate of forward reaction and the rate of reverse reaction it becomes equal, we say that the chemical equilibrium has been established. Chemical equilibrium mean rate of the forward reaction and the rate of reverse reaction has become equal. Chemical equilibrium is also called the dynamic equilibrium. It is because that reactions do not stop at this stage. When the equilibrium reach, reaction do not stop, but only the transformation of reactant into the product and product to the reactant, it take place at the same rate. This means the concentration of reactant and the product become constant at equilibrium stage. Their concentration becomes equal, but they continually transforming into the reactant to the product and product to the reactant. That's why we say that a chemical equilibrium is a dynamic equilibrium. Now, what is the law of mass action? This states that the rate at which a substance reacts is directly proportional to its active mass, and the rate at which the reaction proceeds is directly proportional to the product of the active masses of the reactants. Now students, what do you mean by this active mass? This active mass means the concentration of the reactants. Greater is the concentration of the reactant that react together, greater will be the rate of the reaction. So you can see here that A and B, they are reacting together to produce the C. These A and B are the reactant and C is the product. Greater is the concentration of the reactant A and B, greater will be the rate of reaction and more product will be formed. It means the reaction that is proceeding, it depends on the product of the active masses of these A and B. These active masses are shown in the square brackets. Actually these shows the reactant concentration of the reactants. How can we derive the equilibrium constant expression? For this purpose, we will take this journal reaction, small a capital A plus small b capital B. It gives the product small c capital C and small d capital D. These small a, b, c and d, these small letters shows the number of moles of these substances. Now according to the law of mass action, you are well familiar now that rate of the reaction depends on the active masses of the substances. So rate of the forward reaction will depend on the active mass of the substance A and substance B. So when we will write down it in the question form, you see that rate of forward reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of A raised to the power of the A and concentration of the B raised to the power B. Now this small a and small b are written in the form of exponent. This shows the number of moles. So when we will write down the equation, we will put the number of moles in the form of the exponents. Now rate of the forward reaction is equal to the Kf. Why we put this Kf? This Kf actually shows the elimination of this proportionality sign. We will replace the proportionality sign with the Kf, rate of the forward reaction, and this is again equal to the concentration of A and B raised to the power to their number of moles. Now when reasonable amount of the product is formed, that is the C and D, reverse reaction will be started. This product will be transformed into its reactant now. So the rate of reverse reaction will be proportional to the concentration of the C and D. Again we will eliminate this proportionality sign with the Kr. Kr stand for the rate of reverse reaction. So rate of reverse reaction will be equal to the Kr concentration of the C and D, each raised to the power of its number of moles. Now what happened at the equilibrium state? Rate of the forward reaction becomes equal to the rate of reverse reaction. It means the concentration of the reactant will become equal to the concentration of the product. Kf, concentration of the A and concentration of the B, each raised to the power of its number of mole, it will become equal to the Kr, concentration of the C and D, each raised to the power of its number of moles. Now when we rearrange this equation, we will get Kf over Kr is equal to the concentration of the reactant divided by the concentration of the product. This Kf over Kr can be replaced by another constant that is called the Kc, and this Kc is equal to the concentration of the product of the concentration of product divided by the product of the concentration of reactant. This Kc is known as the equilibrium constant, and this equation is called the equilibrium constant expression. And these square brackets, these indicate the concentration of the reactant and product at the equilibrium state, and these concentration units are the mole per decimeter cube. Now this Kc, that is the equilibrium constant, is equal to the product divided by the reactant. It means it can be defined as the ratio of the product of concentration of product to the product of the concentration of reactant, each raised to the power equal to the coefficient in the balanced chemical equation. So Kc is independent of the initial concentration of reactant. It only depends on the temperature. How to write the equilibrium constant expression? Here 4 questions are given to you for the solution, and this can clear you that how can we write down this equilibrium constant. Only what we have to keep in mind is that reactant will be write down in the denominator and product will be write down in the numerator, and each raised to the power or each will have the exponent equal to its number of moles. In this you can clearly see that in the first example, that is the reaction between the hydrogen chloride and oxygen, and our product is the water and chlorine. The Kc expression is equal to the product of the water and chlorine divided by the product of the reactants, that is the hydrogen chloride and oxygen. And in the red circle you can clearly see that the number of the moles are shown in the form of exponents. These 4 examples are clear to you now. Thank you very much.